It's the weekend. Perfect time to hire it done. Good morning, everyone. My name's Adam Helfman, home improvement expert, fourth generation contractor, and your host, here to give you some great advice on home improvement, of course. We want to teach you how to fix, repair, or remodel everything within the four corners of your lot. It's not a do-it-yourself show, my friends. However, I'm not anti-do-it-yourself. I've kind of learned how to fix a few things myself over the years, but for you, this is a show about hiring contractors, hassle-free home improvement, making it fun, making renovation fun. But at the same time, if you have a few fixes that you need, I got a guy. And as you know, the new tool in your toolbox used to be your checkbook. Thank you, Glenn Hagee. And we all know that. But the newest tool in your toolbox is time. Because time is the new currency. Who has time to fix it themselves? That's the whole point. If you don't want your dishwasher or your washing machine to do the tango across the floor, you need to hire a repairman. You really think that the suspension or the drum or parts that are moving on it, are you going to be able to fix yourself? Oh, I saw it on YouTube. I can fix it. Well, guess what? You are the minority if you can do it yourself. And I appreciate you and I envy you. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you. However, for the majority, people who have to work dual income homes, take care of their kids and take care of everything, it's very difficult to find time, keyword time, to do that. That's why time is the new currency. It's better to know how to find a repairman who can come out, take care of it, and get it done. Finding an honest one who's not going to come there and try and sell you 50 other items. Just fix your washing machine. Fix your furnace. It's real simple. I have a furnace company. Give you an example. Homeowner had problems with the furnace turning on and off. They didn't know. They had a guy come out and say, oh, it's a bad furnace. You need a new one. Oh, we happen to have one in the neighborhood. We can get one in there. It's $3,900. We'll have it installed in 2 hours. Homeowner was smart and said, you know what? I think I heard that scam from a Hire It Done once, not to do that. They called me up. We sent out my guys. Air Temp Mechanical came out, and it was literally an easy fix. Homeowner called me to thank me, said, thank you, Adam. Thank you, Air Temp Mechanical. Thank you, everything. And that's it. They didn't have to get a new furnace. There was no carbon monoxide leak. There was no emergency. It was a scam. Don't be scammed. Remember, time, T-I-M-E. It's a 4-letter word. It's the new currency. That's all you got to know. That's all you got to say. Your time is valuable. I always ask people, if you had to give yourself an hourly wage, what would you pay yourself? I get a little bit of a pause from people when that happens. Because think about it. What are you worth? I went to a therapist the other day. Yeah, I'm not ashamed to admit it. My therapist says to me, you're a good guy, Adam. I'm thinking to myself, let me back it up. My therapist charges $3.50 an hour. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, this guy's getting $3.50 an hour. He's got, 8-10 hours a day, full. I had to wait weeks to get in there. This guy's making bank. He must really know his stuff. So, of course, when I go to the therapist, my first meeting, I'm all nervous. Why am I nervous? Because I judge people by the way they look. And I'm like, if he has dirty shoes or like really gross shoes, I'm going to walk out. Thank God the guy had decent shoes. That just shows you why I'm at a therapist, because I was looking at the guy's shoes. So there's something wrong with me. But it's okay, because when it comes to the space of home improvement, that's where I excel. That's where I shine. And if you think it takes a crazy person to know this stuff, you've got to believe it. It does. So anyways, we've got a really, really good show lined up today. And I wanted to let you know that at this half past the hour, we got Jeremy Marquardt. He's from sani-clean air duct cleaning. And yeah, did you know the average house has 20 pounds of dust in the ductwork? That's gross. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about why you need your duct clean, all your ductwork's clean, and your dryer vents and things like that. And we're going to have Jim Seghi on, Seghi Renovations. He's coming in. We're going to stop by. I got tips from the pros on how to pack for a move. Yeah, moving. That's right. You'd be surprised. There's a lot I learned on that one. But first off, I want to answer this week's mailbag question. You ever have a question for me? Go to hireitdone.com, click on Ask Adam. This week's question, hey, Adam. I have a light in my attic that keeps going out. The electrician says that the problem is due to water damage from the roof, but the company who did my roof says there's no issue with the roof. The roof's only 5 years old. It seems like both guys are trying to pass the buck to avoid having to fix anything under the warranty. How do I get them to handle the problem? More importantly, how do I even figure out what the problem is? Okay, well, light fixture in the attic going out. Is there moisture in the attic? That's what you got to find out, because if there's moisture in a light fixture, it's obviously going to burn out over time. That's what you got to do. Have the electrician show you that there's moisture. And then have the roof come out. Make sure you're there and have them tell you there's no moisture. Get a moisture meter. It's pretty simple. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, packing tips, moving tips from our friends at Men on the Move. I'm Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. Few things are guaranteed in home improvement, but clogged drains might be one of them. Nowadays, you can go online and you can find a million different tricks and hacks on how to fix a clogged drain. I asked Ron Alexander of Shelby Mechanical what he thinks about the do-it-yourself drain declogging methods. He said to me he would recommend staying away from any of those gimmicks. Vinegar, baking soda, or whatever else people talk about pouring down the drain. You're more than likely to just end up with a mess in the drain that's still clogged. I also don't recommend out-of-the-box chemical drain openers either. While those can be effective on some clogs, they can also damage your pipes and end up costing a lot of money in repairs down the road. But there are a handful of things you can try that are safe and do work before going through the trouble of having a plumber come out. The first method that Ron recommended was the good old-fashioned plunger and using hot water. Hot water can help break down the common clogging agents like grease and soap, and the plunger can sometimes push the clog through. According to Ron, it will depend on the type of clog and where the clog is and the shape of your drain as to whether or not plunging can effectively solve your problems. For a clog shower, Ron says the simplest answer might be the best. A lot of times with a shower, the problem is hair, and people don't realize that they could see the clog and maybe even just reach down and pull it out if they take off the drain cover. In the case of a clog that you can't quite reach, a coat hanger or a similar hook might help you remove the clog. If you're handy and you feel up to the task, you could always rent a plumber's snake at a big box store to deal with a particularly stubborn clog. Ron even has people call him on the phone for tips in the middle of working on their drain. People call me all the time and ask. I don't mind. If it's something simple I can recommend, I'll tell you. And if it's something I think we can come out and take a look at, I'll tell you that too. I always say there's nothing wrong with doing your due diligence and seeing if you can fix a problem yourself. But if you're getting nowhere, fighting a clogged drain all afternoon because you want to save a few dollars, ask yourself this. How much is your time worth? Because most homeowners, there's a point where the time is more valuable to them than what they would end up paying someone to fix it, and that's when it's time to make the call. For more plumbing tips, or if you're looking for a great plumber like Ron Alexander and his team at Shelby Mechanical, just head over to hireitdone.com. My name's Adam Helfman. We're having a great Saturday morning. We've got Dominic Spangaleski.
Hey, bingo. He was practicing.
Ron Alexander.
Good morning.
Both from Shelby Mechanical, both great plumbers.
Can we give a shout out to our buddy Jared out there at Walcon, my little buddy? Not working today.
Jared from Walcon, what up?
He's a listener. He enjoys the show.
That's always good. So we talked about recirculating pumps, and a recirculating pump takes the hot water and recirculates it. And
Correct.
Then they have a switch on it or a trigger that once you call for hot water, it automatically turns it on. Is that what it is?
Well, no, it does a recirc, and you can set them up with the pump on a timer or a temperature, so it'll do that loop, and just it kind of warms the line up. So it's, because if you're with a tankless, even with regular water heaters, if it's at one end of your basement and the sink's at the other end, and if you're just going to wash your hands real quick, chances are you're probably not going to have hot water there by the time you're done. So either tankless or a regular tank. So this recirc does a loop close to that bathroom, and so when you turn it on, the water only has to run from the loop to the faucet. So it helps out. At least it'll be warm, but nothing gets it there immediately.
Okay. Well, I didn't know. Question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone has hot water and they're always running out, is that when they should consider upgrading?
I would, yeah, if they're running out of hot water. Well, I mean, again, unless they got a tank. What was that one we pulled out? Was it this week or was it last week? We pulled out one that was almost 30 years old. I think it was 26 years old, the tank. You know, I mean, you get into some of these old tanks, they're half filled with sediment, and
right.
You know, but when it was newer, you know, they never had a problem with hot water. So sometimes, you know, you got to find out what their needs are once again. And
welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. There might be snow on the ground right now, but house buying season is about to explode for another big year. And that means moving season is here as well. And it's always moving season. What is moving season? Moving season is when it's whenever you want it to be, really. It's because you have to move. Now think about that. But here's the thing. If you're ever going to sell your house and you have to move or not move, it's always best to start planning a move early, okay? I get a lot of emails every year asking me to help them on planning a move. And they're like, hey, Adam, you know, we're buying a new house. We have all our lists to do, but we want to move the old house. From the old house, we have a lot of stuff with clutter and stuff like that. What do we do? Is there any, you know, resources? And so we put together a guide, basically. And this segment's really about packing because it's something that often gets overlooked. And so, you know, one of our partners at Hire It Done, his name's Gary Bolson, Men on the Move. Local mover out of Livonia, legitimately top-notch guy. And I asked him, I said, listen, you know, moving, you got to call you got to get your guys. But what about packing? I don't like packing anything. I like to hire it done, right? I like to get someone to pack for me. But make sure when they pack, they label everything. But Gary's like, oh, Adam, here, we have a great guide. Let's go through it. Let me review it with you. And we sat down, and he really, really helped me. So if you have any moving tips that you like, you can text us 97136. But here's what Gary says and gave me. So the first thing on his moving list is to declutter your house so you can pack less. Duh. A crucial packing tip is making sure you don't have to move anything that you no longer need. Yeah, I'm not a hoarder. I like to throw a lot of stuff out. But there are people that hoard everything, including my son's mother. She's got stuff from forever. Anyways, you need to lighten your stress and your workload by decluttering before you enter the packing stage. That's right. Throw stuff out, which means figuring out what to toss, keep, sell, or donate. Take measurements of your new home. Get rid of any furniture that won't fit or you won't use. Don't say, oh, we're going to put it in the basement, use it for later. That's ridiculous. Clear it out. Declutter is number one. Number two, invest in quality moving boxes. Gary told me that skimping on the boxes is one of the biggest mistakes homeowners make. Cheap boxes can lead to headaches and damaged valuables. So you don't have to buy them from your moving company, but you want to make sure you have sturdy boxes that won't fall apart or break. My favorite are the wardrobe boxes, right? Just put them together, put the little metal bar across, hang your clothes, wham, bam, you're ready. Gary's like, yeah, we give boxes for the move. They sell them cheap. It's a convenience. Trust me when I tell you, it makes all the sense. And here's another one. This is a really smart tip. Set a timer and pack for an hour a day. If you say, oh, I'm going to pack today, and you kill yourself for 6 hours, and of course you quit after an hour and a half anyways, you need to understand that it's better mentally if you set a timer. That way, you'll get rid of procrastination. Because you can say today, okay, from today at 11 o'clock, I'm moving, or I'm packing up for an hour. And by the way, if you're just focused on packing and you don't take Adderall, let me tell you, the hour goes quick. Here's another one. Pack a moving essentials tote. When you first move into a new home, it's unlikely the first thing you're going to do is want to unpack your clothes, do laundry, go grocery shopping, right? You're going to relax. You're going to have so much anxiety and stress. You're going to want to just chill. Moving takes a lot out of your family, right? That's why creating a moving essentials tote ahead of time is tremendously helpful. And that's actually a good idea. And basically, it's just a bag full of clothes, things like that. But it's smart, very smart. And by the way, this is the sign of what a good moving company does. They're like, hey, we have a packing list. We can help you. And by the way, Gary will pack for you, too. He's got a company that he works with, brings it along. Makes perfect sense. If you have a packing tip, text us 97136. We just got one in. Egg boxes from your local grocery store is always a good steal. Yeah, I love that one. Thank you. Right. Anytime you can put something together with handles, makes sense. Here's one here's your fifth tip. Give each room a different color packing label. So think about this. You've got 4-bedroom house, dining room, living room, kitchen, whatever. Each room should have a colored label. Smart. Stay organized, print off multicolored packing labels, or use different colored masking tape and give each room its own color. Label the contents of each box and include the room it belongs in. Bedroom 1, bedroom 2, master bath, master bedroom, library, dining room, kitchen, lower level, or basement. Then in your new place, use colored tape to mark entrances to the rooms. Makes perfect sense. This moving tip will save movers a ton of time. Instead of needing to read the label explicitly or play the room guessing game, they can just match color to color. Now that, my friends, is a really good tip. See, that's why Gary Bolson from Men on the Moves knows his stuff. Local moving guy. That's the other thing. I like local, right? Michigan made. Here's another one. Don't overpack a moving box. People love to do that. One mistake a lot of people make when moving is trying to cram all their belongings into a few cardboard boxes that they have around the house. Use as many boxes as you need. Easy to lift loads. Keep your largest boxes to no more than 50 pounds. Pretend like you're going on an airplane, right? Your carry-on. Why is it that everyone overloads a carry-on? I'll never forget when I was married. Keyword was married. I would travel and I'd be like, all right, just pack the basics. We were only going away for 4 days. I swear, it'd be like 4 bags of luggage. I had so much anxiety back then. Anyways, okay. Number 8, don't leave empty spaces in boxes. Fill any gaps with packing paper, clothing, or foam peanuts to prevent items shifting around during the move. That makes sense. Use tape to close the bottom and top seams around the edges where stress is concentrated. See, this is where a professional mover knows the difference. Okay? And here's the other thing. Bundle your breakables. For any fragile items you pack, use plenty of bunched up paper and padding. Never place items in boxes freely without extra cushion. Duh. I know how it is. You just want to stick it in the box and go. That's why it's better to hire a pro. Repurpose household items for packing. There you go. Think about how you can repurpose things you have, like hampers, suitcases, laundry bins. That way you can store some of your clothes, household items, put towels in and stuff like that. It takes up as little space as possible. And you've heard those vacuum sealing devices. They have one like you put your vacuum cleaner on, and it like takes the clothes and shrinks it down. That's super cool. And by the way, those work. Why not utilize that? Packing, moving, it's a chore. It's something that creates stress, anxiety, but the good thing is you're going into a new house, hopefully better house, and that's where you'll have really, really good results and have a stress-free move. I want to thank Gary Bolson for that information with me from Men on the Move. MichiganMovers.com. Great guy. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk about all kinds of good stuff around your house when we come back. I'm Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. One of the biggest setbacks to remodeling and renovation projects is that homeowners oftentimes don't know where to start. And I get it. A renovation project is understandably overwhelming. You may have so many decisions to make: the cabinets, the tiles, the countertop, the flooring, and on top of that, there are so many different options for each one. I asked one of Hired Done's top renovation contractors, Jim Seghi of Seghi Renovations, what he thinks about how to start a renovation project. And he agreed with me. He said, Adam, when people get overwhelmed, it's because they don't know where to start. And I always recommend starting with the basic layout and the budget, because that will give you the blueprint and the guidelines that you need to make the rest of your decisions on the project. Jim stresses the importance that Seghi Renovations is a one-stop shop for your entire project. And I actually agree with Jim on this. It's very easy to get confused if you're trying to work with several other different contractors. You can have two contractors tell you two different things that are both technically correct, and neither one might be the right thing to do in your kitchen. Remember, no two kitchens are the same. You can't just go to the store, pick out a kitchen, and have it installed the next week. Now, in a new construction, they might put the same kitchen in 20 different homes, but you have to realize that the job of a builder is to construct the biggest house for the least amount of money. The builder's job is not to give you the best possible kitchen for your home. So, you start with a contractor who's one-stop shop like Seghi Renovations, and you start with a layout and a budget. Then it's time for the fun part, which is actually making the selections. But a lot of homeowners can still feel overwhelmed by making this selection process. Jim Seghi recommends that you go to a showroom. It's not the largest space, but every single thing in the showroom is handpicked and value-added with a product that he recommended someone use in their kitchen. And that's really the key to what makes a good showroom. You want a place where you can go to see the different combinations and styles and have a chance to kick the tires on your new kitchen or bath. And that's key, because the reason Seghi Renovations is such a great contractor is that they can make this stressful process not seem so stressful. Jim says start with the layout. I say start with the contractor, because the contractor can be the difference between a nightmare project and a dream kitchen, or a headache and a walk in the park. For more remodeling tips, or if you're ready to start your renovation project, it's pretty simple. Just head to hireitdone.com. Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. We've got Dominic Spangaleski.
There you go.
Bingo. Got it again.
Ron Alexander. Shelby Mechanical. If you need a plumber, need any service in your house, give them a call, 586-726-9444, or just visit hireitdone.com. They'll come out, take care of you. Ron, what is there a typical service call? Not new plumbing, but is there like...
Normally, yeah, it's always sewers backing up, garbage disposal, sump pumps. Some pumps when we have the heavy rain like we had last time. We had guys running around throwing them in everywhere. Matter of fact, so it was a busy weekend. But usually it's always sewer calls. We get a lot of fixture changes. People want to change their faucets and sinks and toilets. And
do you ever go like when they go on like Wayfair, or they go to like Advanced Plumbing or whatever, they buy this new pull-out sprayer and all this stuff, and they got all this stuff, and they call you up and like, oh yeah, I want you to install this, and it's...
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Good luck, right?
You know what? There's two of us. We'll go out and look at that stuff for free. Myself or Justin, one of us will come out to your house. We don't have any problem with that. If they're thinking about upgrading their shower, we'll come and look at it and say, try to get them to go to a supply house, because like Infusion or something, where they can pick what they want, and the salespeople will let them know, hey, this works together. Don't go buying this, mixing valve, and then you got just with body sprays, and they got.
So you'll consult and tell them what to get.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And you don't have a problem with a homeowner buying their own material?
No, not at all.
But they're responsible if it doesn't work.
If it doesn't work, then if we have to replace it, then we charge for that stuff.
You got a plumbing question? Text us 97136. We just got one that says, I have an electric hot water heater that needs to be replaced. Okay. Does it have to be another electric, or can I convert it to gas?
We can convert it to gas. Yeah, it would probably have to be a power vent if they don't. There must be a reason there's electric in there. Maybe they don't have a vent.
Good morning. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. So, when is it time for air duct cleaning? How can you clean your air ducts yourself? Can you even? Do you want to, right? Who knows? But what should you look for in an air duct cleaning company? Well, let me just tell you what air duct cleaning is, okay? first of all, if you have mold, rodents, or smokers in the house, cats, pets, your air ducts get dust and debris in them, right? If you've had a construction project added onto the house or done in the house, that's when you know you're going to need duct cleaning. You see, your air filter in your furnace traps dirt and as it's blowing through. However, some dirt just lives in the ducts. So you'll need to decide whether you want to get your ducts cleaned or not. I say yes, get your ducts cleaned once every 5 years. If you live on a dirt road, one of the things I want to say is homeowners with children, and it's quite evident that respiratory issues with kids, allergies, asthma. Doctors today are saying, hey, go check the air quality in your house. And one of the things about air quality is your ducts. Duct cleaning is still important. So, but if you live in an area where you have rodents, if you have mold and it's hard to get rid of, you've hard to access your ductwork, those are things that you need to make sure you hire a pro. Now, when you want to hire a professional to do that, if you're like me, doing it yourself is not your thing. Remember, from the neck down, my friends, I'm worth minimum wage. From the chin up is where I make my living. So I want to get duct cleaning done by a professional. I want a guy that knows what he's doing. So here's what you got to do. There's a lot of duct cleaning companies out there. Finding a good one is not hard, but it's not easy because they all claim to be the best. That's the thing about contractors. They all say they're the best because you're not going to find a contractor. Hey, are you any good? I'm okay. I'm decent. I'm not the best. Whoa. Thoughts are things, right? You got to have a good attitude. So here's a couple questions you got to ask a duct cleaner. And it's easy. This is questions you should ask every contractor, but at the same time, let's keep it to the duct cleaning. How much experience do you have in the business of duct cleaning? Oh, I just started last week. Sorry, Belle. Not unless you're going to practice on my house for free. Ain't happening. Does the company hold a license? Some duct cleaning companies need a license to apply a mildewcide, which is a disinfectant basically in your ducts if you need it. Now, you can ask them, does the company use any moisture methods? What does that mean? Sometimes wet will get, the dust out. What about biocides or chemical treatments? That you got to ask them too. A lot of them are unnecessary, but it also depends on the application. Now, here's a question you got to ask the duct cleaning company. How does the company protect you, your family, and your belongings from the dust? Yes. That's important because when they pressurize your ductwork and they use that vacuum and the agitator and it creates a storm of duct messes. Now, what about asking the company, hey, do you provide an inspection and an estimate before beginning any work? I mean, you think, because you don't want him to quote over the phone, oh, it's $300, and then he gets there and he says, oh, it's $600. Whoa. So you got to ask them their process. Remember, air duct cleaning only needs to be done on rare occasions. Like I said, once every 5 years. The company says, oh, you need it every year. We got to come once a month. Sorry, dude. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Here's the best part, too. Duct cleaning, the average house, think about this. The average house has 20 to 25 pounds of dust in the ductworks. So that's gross, right? That's, so where do you know if you even need it? The National Air Duct Cleaning Association recommends you clean your air ducts. And like I just said, once every 5 years. They say every 3 to 5 years. Even the EPA doesn't suggest a specific timeline, but recommends doing so if you have substantial mold growth, vermin infestation, and in excessive amounts of dust and debris. So how much should the job cost? I think the average house is 300 to 400, probably more closer to 400. Now, there's some bait and switch scams out there for duct cleanings. And you got to figure that out. One of the most common scams among unscrupulous cleaners is to get their foot in the door with a $49 whole house cleaning price. Yeah, you've seen those. They call those lost leaders. It's like the company that used to advertise the $99 window. I don't get it. But that was their methodology. They've changed since then for the better, obviously. But it's, consumer tastes have changed. But they have the fine print. Well, this is up to 10 vents and one trunk line. So what do you look for in a good duct cleaner? In most states, you don't have to get licensed to do duct cleaning. But you got to make sure they have liability, workers' comp. $1 million coverage is what you need, I would say. And any reputable company will have this coverage. Hired done companies, of course, have this coverage. You can't even be a contractor with Hired Done without that. Do you need references? Well, if you get a duct cleaner from Hired Done, yeah, you don't. Because we do it for you. And that's important. So, you're going to get it. Now, do they have to be a member of NADCA? National Association of Duct Cleaners Alliance or whatever it is. They have best practices, and that's important. And that's important. So making sure you get it done properly. It's really the way I think it. Hey, Adam, here's someone who just texted me. Is it cheaper to do air duct cleaning in a ranch? I have an 1,800 square foot ranch. Was a new build 20 years ago. Several projects later, I'm thinking I need ducts cleaned. John. Actually, John, that's a good question. These guys with the duct cleaning, pretty much, I think it is easier to do a duct cleaning in the ranch. Cheaper? That's a good question. I never asked that. I'll have to ask our duct cleaners. But my thing is, probably easier and a better job if you have a ranch. But second floor, they have these wands and these hoses, and the machine, the truck-mounted machine is really what you want. These guys come in and, man, when they agitate the ductwork, it loosens up the dust. But then the dust gets sucked out. It's the vacuum cleaner that they use, or the machine on the truck, is so powerful. It can hold a bowling ball. Another good duct cleaning company is Modernistic. Simple and quick. I've heard of them. Anyways, they have a professional duct cleaning. They do a really good job as well. Anyways, the point I'm making here is you got to find the right company. You don't have to do it all the time. Do it once. That's the key. And you'll be surprised. And the other thing is, when our duct cleaners, they'll also change the filter in your furnace while you're there. So once they agitate all the dust and then you suck it all out, you put your furnace filter on, or your fan on, and let the air circulate through the house for a couple hours, and that'll scrub the rest of the air, any aerosolized dust. And I'll be honest with you, it's better. It really is. The air quality is better. You could and if you're there when they're doing the job, the best is to say to them, hey, I want to see the dust that you collected from my house. And you go out in the truck and he opens up the bin. Oh my God. Talk about gross. Talk about the schmutz and the skuts that you got there. Unbelievable. So, anyways, I just thought that you would all like that, because getting your ducts clean is one of those things. But hey, what can I tell you, right? Anyways, guess what? I want to take a quick moment to talk about Salt Sale Saturdays at Beauchamp Water Treatment Solutions in Brighton. They also have a new location in Waterford. Every Saturday, you can get DuraCube regular at an unbelievably low $5.99 a bag. DuraCube Red Out for $6.99 a bag. Those are 40-pound bags, obviously. And then you can get the potassium chloride for $19.99 a bag. Plus, 5 gallons of bottled water, $2.99 each. That's awesome. I like that place. My name's Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hired Done Radio Network. One of the easiest ways to improve your home safety is to add an egress window. An egress window provides a dwelling with an emergency means of exit with the added benefits of increasing the light and livability of your lower level as well as increasing the value of your home. While egress windows are not exclusive to lower levels, that's often where you see them installed. I get a ton of questions about egress windows from homeowners, and my go-to guy for all things egress is Anthony Iapolo of Easy Exit Egress Windows. A lot of people wonder what kind of window they need and how big it needs to be. According to Anthony, the codes vary from city to city, and egress windows must meet the minimum size requirements for your area. A basement egress window typically has an opening of at least 6 square feet. It's also critical for egress windows to be operational from inside without the use of keys or tools. While your choice is somewhat restricted by the code in your area, egress windows come in a variety of sizes and styles to choose from. Most basement egress windows also include an egress well, which allows the window to be opened and typically provides a means of climbing out, such as a ladder or steps. Codes for egress wells also vary depending on city. Anthony from Easy Exit says that depending on your location and how close your house sits to the edges of your lot, you may or may not run into limitations on which side of the home can have the egress window. And sometimes, Anthony and his team are able to fit an egress window where it initially seemed like you wouldn't even be able to fit by using a slightly different well or window. That's why it's so critical to have a great contractor who can interpret your needs, who understands the codes, and can offer the best solution for your home. Just the other day, someone asked me if I can install an egress window during the winter months. And of course, I went to Easy Exit and asked Anthony, while weather and soil conditions need to be taken into account, it's not different installing a window in the winter than any other time of year, he says. Typically, you're dealing with about a foot or so of frost to break through, and then it's business as usual. And Anthony and his team are really good at installing windows. Most egress window jobs are completed in about a day, and it's very quick from the time they cut the hole to when the window is installed. The important thing to remember is that whether or not they're required in your area, an egress window is really a vital piece of potentially life-saving equipment that allows your family a means of escape and firefighters a means of entry in an emergency. For more information on egress windows, or if you're ready to start an egress window project, just head to hireitdone.com. We talk home improvement. How to fix, repair, or remodel everything within the 4 corners of your lot. And right now we're going to be talking about plumbing. It's like the arteries of your home. Everything plumbing. Whether the toilet's flush, the water comes hot, cold, the pipes are clean, even tankless. Joining me in studio right now, master plumber of 30 years plus, Ron Alexander from Shelby Mechanical. Long time. Good
Making
morning.
me feel old.
Come on, man. You're not old.
Or sound old, let's say. I don't feel old. I'm sounding.
Right.
Wow, 30 years. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I was married 39 yesterday, as of yesterday.
What?
They're going on 40 now.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, because you're like old school guy.
Uh-huh.
39 years of marriage. How many times did you file for divorce over 39 years? 0?
Never.
Oy.
Never.
She
How
must
many
be
times
a
have I
good one.
thought about it? Never.
She wants to kick you out?
I'd marry her again in a second.
Even better.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's a good girl.
That's so nice.
Doesn't cause any trouble.
Let me ask you a question. Do you have unlimited hot water in your house?
Yes.
Was the plumbing always working in your house?
Yeah. No, actually, I'm like the mechanic. My laundry tub was turned off for a while because it kept dripping. And
I'll get to it. I'll get to it. What was that saying? Farmers' kids are always last to get fed?
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
I remember it. Although, that's what I figured. So welcome to the show again. Appreciate that. You brought one of your ace plumbers with you this morning.
Yep.
Dominic Spangalewski. Did I say it right?
Yes. Well,
Close
enough.
Spangalewski?
Spanielewski.
Spangalewski. No G? Spanula?
No.
And that's Polish, right?
Yep.
Do you know I'm half Polish?
Which half?
Yeah.
Half German, half Polish. Yeah. 100% American.
There you go.
Patriot.
Exactly.
Right?
I don't leave home without some kind of flag.
Where we go
attached to
one,
me.
we go all.
Yes.
That's where I go.
Exactly.
I trust the plan here. So, Dominic, how long have you been doing plumbing?
26 years.
So, just for everyone. Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. Shout out to all my listeners. Thanks for tuning in this morning. If you ever want a duct cleaning company, just go to hireitdone.com. We'll have our duct cleaning companies contact you. And they do service Westland, which is always a good thing. So you have no problem there. If you're watching us on Facebook this morning, we have a really big Facebook audience. Go to Hire It Done or 97.1 The Ticket. You can watch us on Facebook. Type in the comments where you're listening from. We'll give you a shout out. Good morning from Waterford. Good morning from Lincoln Park, Woodhaven, Commerce. Good morning to y'all. Anyways, I'm going to give you some home improvement tips right now, okay? Listen, not everyone, but a lot of people are planning home improvement projects this year. And whether it's a bathroom, it's a kitchen, a roof, siding, windows, kitchens, bath, electrical, plumbing, handyman, paint, concrete, brick pavers, landscaping, pool, lower level, basement, egress windows, electrical, generators. It's a lot. Lots and lots and lots of, projects you can do. Everyone has an idea. Everyone wants to do something. But anyways, let me give you some tips. So here's the thing. For your planning a project this year, first thing I want you to do is make a list. Home renovation should be a fluid process, right? Unexpected situations arise daily. Whether you use a block of wood, a piece of paper, cardboard, or a notebook, always have a pencil or something to write on so you can keep track of your material, tools, supplies that you'll need to bring your next day. Think about that. And then, of course, these tips for you are for homeowners who want to do things themselves. I know some of you think I'm anti-do-it-yourself. I'm not. I'm pro-do-it-for-me. However, if you're going to try something, have at it. I envy you. Think about this. You want to give up your weekends? You want to get your hands dirty? Big projects this year? I love it. Just remember, you can always contact me to help you. Make your list. Now, when you're doing projects around your house, how about temporary lighting? Yes, install some temporary lighting. This is a big one. People don't think about it until they're trying to work in the dark. Lighting is one of the last items to be installed on most remodeling projects, but it's hard to do a good job when you're working in the dark. Plug-in work lights take up precious outlets, and they're always being tripped on or moved around. That's true. As soon as you have the power to the lighting receptacles, consider installing temporary lighting. Home centers, hardware stores, the big box stores, they sell lighting. It's really easy to do that. But let me tell you something. Actual lighting, temporary lighting, makes a difference. Now, separate your lumber. If you're going to build a deck, you're going to build a room addition, you're going to reframe a house in a room, build a closet, whatever your little project is, think about this, my friends. When you unload your lumber to your job site, set the studs, the top plates, the bottom plates, put them in different piles. That way, every time you start a new wall section, you won't have to move 20 studs to grab the top plate buried at the bottom of the pile. And the last thing you want to do is wasting time, energy, hauling lumber from one side of the room to the other. Make sure your pile is located in a close but out-of-the-way location. Now, that reminds me of when I first started in the home improvement business, 1984. My dad put me on a job site with the dormers. The guys building our dormers. And the lumber came off the truck. I'll never forget it. The name of the company was Ulrich Lumber. They were one of our lumber companies that we used. They were great. Great company. And I'll never forget, the guy delivered the lumber. And the contractor, the framers, the Preventures were their name. They were one of the best. They were great too. Great family. They're like, yeah, we got to separate the lumber now. And the lumber was tied in metal bands. And the guy's like, yeah, you break the bands. I'm thinking to myself, I don't know how to do that. These guys would take the back of their hammer and whack the metal band and snap it in half. It took me a half hour to chop away at it. They're laughing at me. Hey, you got to learn, right? So by noon of that day, they already called my dad and told him to get rid of me. That just shows you what I'm worth when it comes to that. My dad showed up on the job site with a box of brochures. I'll never forget it. He told me to go up the street, knock on the doors, and just smile with a brochure in your hand and say, hi, my family is doing renovations in your neighborhood. If you want a free estimate and want the best work done, give us a call and hand it to the lady. And I did that. He says, and every time we get an appointment, I'll give you $20. That was the planting of the seeds of a successful future that I had in that business. Now, here's the thing about your renovation project. Throw together a junk station. As soon as the major demo is completed, make sure you have a junk station. Bring extra sawhorse, throw a couple other boards on the plywood and on your plywood. It's smart to have a central location for your tools, fasteners, batteries, chargers, radios, beverages. Having like a work area. It's really simple. Having items scattered all over the job site floor makes cleanup harder. Wandering around looking for other stuff is a waste of time. If you go to that's why I say to homeowners, visit a job site in progress. Look to see if it's organized. Look to see if it's clean. Look to see if the lumber's in a pile. You see, these are little visual cues on finding a good contractor. But if you're going to do it yourself, why not learn from the best? Now, there's no such thing as too many garbage cans. 2 stacked garbage cans don't take much more room in the back of a truck than 1. So why not throw in an extra? Put them wherever a mess is being made. Like sit next to the miter saw, dropping cutoffs. Think twice about buying the giant heavy-duty cans. Save money, you can just best off with the sturdy, medium-sized cans. They're easier to carry. Get the ones with the wheels on them even. And by the way, the worst things that happen, you could throw them away. Throw a garbage can at the garbage. Isn't that funny? If you take a garbage can that's all beat up and you throw it away, the garbage company may not think to take it away. You got to put a little note on it probably. What about the buckets? A bucket is a remodeler's best friend. You know the Home Depot, Lowe's, blue, orange buckets. 5-gallon buckets. They work great for mixing, hauling heavy debris, storing water, dragging tools in and out. Just all purpose. Whoever would have thought that a bucket would be so popular? Great advertising too, by the way. Now, what about a protective path? What about protecting the floor? You know what? It's impossible to demo a wall or bust up a floor without making a mess, right? But that doesn't mean you need to track the mess all over the rest of the house. The next time you have to tear out some carpet, cut several long strips. Use them as a pathway to protect the flooring. Makes sense. You won't make sure to flip the carpet upside down, and abrasive backing won't scratch the finish on the wood floors. Meanwhile, canvas drop cloths work best for protecting stair treads. Yeah, think about that. A messy job site's terrible. A clean job site is always the best thing to do. So it's always fun. Anyways, how about pulling those nails? That's a tough one too, right? I've seen many work site horrors. Nails were left in boards. Never let a chunk of lumber leave your hand until you've dealt with the nails. That's a good one. Never let a chunk of lumber leave your hand until you've dealt with the nails. Right? Who needs that? I'm telling you, it's the last thing you want to be thinking about on a job site when your last tetanus shot was. I stepped on a nail on a job site. It's not a good feeling. Not at all. So that's the deal. Those are some good tips for you. Anyways, we recently had some good requests on plumbing. Always looking for good plumbers on Hired Done. We've got Shelby Mechanical. He's one of the best out there. Ron Alexander. We've got Advanced Plumbing. Saw Jeff Moss, Josh Moss the other day. They're the plumbing suppliers in town. Good company. Family owned. Got a Detroit showroom that's awesome. They're big fans of the show too. And you know what? Plumbing's a big home improvement. Getting your drain snaked, it's big. Getting your toilet flushing properly. Getting hot water to your house right. Tankless water heaters, is it a good option? Changing your water heater. What do you do when you have a 40 or 50 gallon water heater? It's 15 years old and it keeps turning off. And then you call a plumber out to service it. What do you do? He comes out and he cleans it up, says, "Oh, it works," and then the next day it's gone again. How do you handle that? What do? You call the plumber back? Yeah. Call him up and say, "Hey, listen, it's not working." But they warn you, hey, it's a 15-year-old water heater. It's probably not going to last. That's the problem sometimes. You don't always have the right fix. But you want a good plumber, go to hireitdone.com. It's one of our top requests, plumbing. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up next, kitchen and bath tips. Good ones, too, by the way. I'm Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. Few things are guaranteed in home improvement, but clogged drains might be one of them. Nowadays, you can go online and you can find a million different tricks and hacks on how to fix a clogged drain. I asked Ron Alexander of Shelby Mechanical what he thinks about the do-it-yourself drain declogging methods. He said to me he would recommend staying away from any of those gimmicks. Vinegar, baking soda, or whatever else people talk about pouring down the drain. You're more than likely to just end up with a mess in the drain that's still clogged. I also don't recommend out-of-the-box chemical drain openers either. While those can be effective on some clogs, they can also damage your pipes and end up costing a lot of money in repairs down the road. But there are a handful of things you can try that are safe and do work before going through the trouble of having a plumber come out. The first method that Ron recommended was the good old-fashioned plunger and using hot water. Hot water can help break down the common clogging agents like grease and soap, and the plunger can sometimes push the clog through. According to Ron, it will depend on the type of clog and where the clog is and the shape of your drain as to whether or not plunging can effectively solve your problems. For a clog shower, Ron says the simplest answer might be the best. A lot of times with a shower, the problem is hair, and people don't realize that they could see the clog and maybe even just reach down and pull it out if they take off the drain cover. In the case of a clog that you can't quite reach, a coat hanger or a similar hook might help you remove the clog. If you're handy and you feel up to the task, you could always rent a plumber's snake at a big box store to deal with a particularly stubborn clog. Ron even has people call him on the phone for tips in the middle of working on their drain. People call me all the time and ask. I don't mind. If it's something simple I can recommend, I'll tell you. And if it's something I think we can come out and take a look at, I'll tell you that too. I always say there's nothing wrong with doing your due diligence and seeing if you can fix a problem yourself. But if you're getting nowhere, fighting a clogged drain all afternoon because you want to save a few dollars, ask yourself this. How much is your time worth? Because most homeowners, there's a point where the time is more valuable to them than what they would end up paying someone to fix it. And that's when it's time to make the call. For more plumbing tips, or if you're looking for a great plumber like Ron Alexander and his team at Shelby Mechanical, just head over to hireitdone.com. From our list this morning, anything good, bad, and different? Let me know. We have a good show lined up. Definitely a good show lined up. See, today and every Saturday, we always talk about the critical topics related to homes, meeting some of the most influential, interesting, and personable players in our industry, some of the best contractors around, and some you've never heard of. And today, we just want to talk home improvement. We want you to know that your house is a place where you have an investment. You need to protect your investment. So why not protect it by watching my show on Facebook, listening to the show on 97.1 The Ticket. We're also in 38 more markets around the state. And we have the website hireitdone.com for you to get more information, more blogs, more content, and, of course, find contractors. And today, we got good information, great guests. I've got Ron Alexander. Supposed to be bringing his main guy, Dominic, today. I'm excited about that. They're from Shelby Mechanical, plumbing outfit that on the east side, and like legit, like the plumbing company that most people compare themselves to. That's how good they are. And I've got Josh Young coming in from Voltron Power. He's an electrician, master electrician. We're going to talk about why every house should have a generator, or maybe not. How much does a generator cost? Is it worth it? So we're going to be getting all that together. We got all kinds of really good content today. And that's what the show's all about. It's content. We're here to help you, the homeowner, fix, repair, or remodel everything within the four corners of your lot. I'm not a do-it-yourself show. I'm pro do-it-for-me. You know what that means? It means I'm the guy who's going to help you find contractors. I'm not anti-do-it-yourself, though. If you want to fix your own toilet, if you want to stop your washing machine from doing the tango across the floor, or if you want to build your own deck, no problem. You can have at it. You need advice? Yeah, listen to the show. I'm going to help you. But legitimately, when it's time for you to say, you know what, I can't do this. I'd rather be with my kids playing soccer than getting underneath the sink fixing a wash and disposal or whatever. So I'm going to bring.
We're brought to you by National Benefit Plans. Meanwhile, Chris Paul scored 22 points, helping Oklahoma City beat the Pistons 108-101. This guy at a season high 28.
Guy comes over, takes the money, never comes back. It's a big one. How about when they get ripped off or overcharge you? It's different, but at the same time, it's similar. So you gotta figure this out. And the the best part about that is everyone has an opinion and everyone can do what they want. So it is what it is. But if you ever have a question, a concern, or you want to ask about a contractor or talk about one, no problem. Just go to hiredone.com, email me, ask Adam. My email is adam@hiredone.com, and we'll answer your home improvement question. And if you want, we'll even bring it on the radio show, or if you find it worthy enough, I'll answer it, but I'll also share it with the audience. And speaking of that, let's go to the mailbag. Dear Adam, my wife and I are vetting contractors for a kitchen renovation project we're planning to start in March. We have 3 contractors who put in bids, and we're having trouble sorting through the different proposals. Price points and timeframes for very different items are drastically different in the proposals, and every contractor is giving us a different story. Is there a way to cut through the BS and level the playing field when it comes to quotes? That's a really good question, and that's part of the problem with homeowners finding contractors and getting bids that compare apples to apples. And let me just say this. When you're calling contractors out, let's use this email from West Bloomfield about a kitchen renovation. They're getting quotes, and basically each guy that comes out comes recommended or whatever, and each guy gives a different version of the kitchen, and they're confused, thoroughly confused. It's never easy. So what do? Here's what you do. You always tell the contractor that you've decided to invite in your home. You say to them, listen, I'm not an expert in home improvement. I just want a beautiful kitchen. Here's what I like. Please put that in a proposal form that I can read and understand. Tell the contractor to dumb it down if you have to. Tell him that you write it in 6th grade English. And then when he gives it to you, then say to him, listen, I appreciate this, but can you also add into this roadmap or this story that you're giving me what's not included? And that's the key. Getting everything written down that's included and then everything not included. And then say that to all 3 contractors. Remember, homeowners buy home improvement based on the guy they like. Yes, price always is a factor. However, it's important that you understand that getting it in writing and getting what's included and then not included is where you go, okay? Now, you always have a budget and you always have to figure it out, but that's the start to a good remodeling contractor. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about exactly what it means on what you're getting and what you're not getting in a contract. I'm Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. One of the biggest setbacks to remodeling and renovation projects is that homeowners oftentimes don't know where to start. And I get it. A renovation project is understandably overwhelming. You may have so many decisions to make: the cabinets, the tiles, the countertop, the flooring. And on top of that, there are so many different options for each one. I asked one of Hire It Done's top renovation contractors, Jim. Good morning. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done radio network. Great Saturday morning is. A little snow out there. Nothing to stop me. One of the most common questions I get when you're talking to a contractor is, how can you tell if they're a good contractor? You don't have a crystal ball, right? Is there a way to identify whether or not they're the real deal? That's the thing. Are they? Well, at Hire It Done, we have a rigorous 10-point pre-screening process that we subject all our contractors to. And I have 10 questions you can ask any contractor to find out if they're the real deal. Now, I created these questions, and there's other companies out there that have questions, and there's other experts out there. And you know what? Everyone helps. All we want to do is make sure that when you're hiring a contractor, that it's hassle-free and you enjoy the job. That's important. And I need to make sure that you know how important that is, because finding a good contractor is not easy. That's for sure. Baby Yoda, Dan in Livonia, thank you. Yoda probably would have been a great contractor. He probably didn't write the scope of work properly. It would have been written backwards. But hey, we're good there. So when you are going to hire a contractor, let's say you already came back from the home show and you're now thinking about getting that kitchen or bath or basement, right? Or just hiring a plumber, whatever it takes. What are the questions you're going to ask them? So here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to tell you, my friends. These are the questions you should ask every contractor, right? So we're going to go simple, and then we're going to get it. We're going to ramp up to a little more complicated, because this is an interview process. Remember, when you start questioning a contractor, they get a little defensive. They get a little worried. Their little walls go up. Their insecurities start to be showing up. So you got to really, really walk on eggshells here. So the first thing is you say, hey, Mr. Contractor, how long have you been in the business? Or how long have you been working in the industry? Those are two different questions, because, listen, you guy gives you a business card, 30 years in business. Is that real? 30 years in business? So, but, the guy might have been, or the contractor might have been working for a good company for 10, 15 years and then started his own company. I don't have anything against the entrepreneurial spirit, so it's important. Anyways, you got to ask him, how long have you been in the business? Or how long have you been working in the industry? Guy's a plumber, right? I've been working as a plumber for 30 years. How long have you been on your own? Oh, I've been on my own for 2 years. Is that a reason not to use them? No, it depends. That's why you got to talk to them. Now, here's the basic question that everyone should ask, even though it sounds basic. Are you licensed and insured? At the very least, make sure your pro is licensed. He must carry workers' comp and liability insurance. Now, if he's an independent contractor, meaning he works for himself, sometimes workers' comp is not required. But if he brings other people on the job, then you got an issue. And then, of course, liability insurance is a must. Do not bring anyone on your house without insurance. Now, you've heard, I'm bonded. In home improvement, who knows why bonded? Bonded is only like when you have like a cleaning company. Bonding it's not necessary in renovations, my opinion. Here's one. Mr. Contractor, do you guarantee your work in writing? Right? Think about that. You have 100% satisfaction guarantee. We guarantee all our work. Satisfaction guaranteed. You see that, but you ask them, I appreciate it. You're on your edge. You're this, that, and the other. Where is it in writing? A verbal guarantee is nice. It offers no guarantee that the contractor will actually stand behind his work. Draft a written guarantee that states exactly what is. Here's the Hire It Done version. States exactly what is covered and what is not covered. Now, Tony from Fenton says we should ask him his credit score. It's an interesting question. Is that intrusive? I don't know. At Hired Done, when we do background checks and we do screening of our contract, we do a bankruptcy check. We don't check their credit score, but we call the suppliers and see if they have credit, see if they pay their bills. Interesting. I almost think if it's a bigger job and the contractor has to purchase stuff, you might want to ask them, do you have good credit? That's all you got to say. Now, here's the next question. Can you provide references? Now, that's an easy question, right? And of course, no contractor is going to say no. They're all going to say, yeah, of course. Then you got to say, well, I want references that aren't your relatives, that aren't people that are your friends and family. Ratings and reviews are a great resource, right? Especially when coupled with references from previous customers. So you need permission to call the references. And yeah, you need references, but you ask them for references from projects that are similar to the one you're looking at. If the guy's a roofer and he gives you a reference for a bathroom, what's up with that? Anyways, we're going to take a quick break and keep it locked in. I got more questions to ask contractors, and the good ones are coming up. I'm Adam Helfman. You're listening to the 97.1 The Ticket Home Improvement Show. Hire It Done. One of the biggest setbacks to remodeling and renovation projects is that homeowners oftentimes don't know where to start. And I get it. A renovation project is understandably overwhelming. You may have so many decisions to make: the cabinets, the tiles, the countertop, the flooring. And on top of that, there are so many different options for each one. I asked one of Hire It Done's top renovation contractors, Jim Seghi of Seghi Renovations, what he thinks about how to start a renovation project. And he agreed with me. He said, Adam, when people get overwhelmed, it's because they don't know where to start. And I always recommend starting with the basic layout and the budget, because that will give you the blueprint and the guidelines that you need to make the rest of your decisions on the project. Jim stresses the importance that Seghi Renovations is a one-stop shop for your entire project. And I actually agree with Jim on this. It's very easy to get confused. If you're trying to work with several other different contractors, you can have two contractors tell you two different things that are both technically correct, and neither one might be the right thing to do in your kitchen. Remember, no two kitchens are the same. You can't just go to the store, pick out a kitchen, and have it installed the next week. Now, in a new construction, they might put the same kitchen in 20 different homes, but you have to realize that the job of a builder is to construct the biggest house for the least amount of money. The builder's job is not to give you the best possible kitchen for your home. So you start with a contractor who's one-stop shop like Seghi Renovations, and you start with a layout and a budget. Then it's time for the fun part, which is actually making the selections. But a lot of homeowners can still feel overwhelmed by making this selection process. Jim Seghi recommends that you go to a showroom. It's not the largest space, but every single thing in the showroom is handpicked and value-added with a product that he recommended someone use in their kitchen. And that's really the key to what makes a good showroom. You want a place where you can go to see the different combinations and styles and have a chance to kick the tires on your new kitchen or bath. And that's key, because the reason Seghi Renovations is such a great contractor is that they can make this stressful process not seem so stressful. Jim says start with the layout. I say start with the contractor, because the contractor can be the difference between a nightmare project and a dream kitchen, or a headache and a walk in the park. For more remodeling tips, or if you're ready to start your renovation project, it's pretty simple. Just head to hireitdone.com. Welcome back to Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. Home Improvement Radio, right here on the sports station. It's the sport of home improvement. Let's take a quick second. Let's talk about Salt Sale Saturdays. Beauchamp Water Treatment Solutions in Brighton. They're now open in Waterford as well. Every Saturday, that's this morning, you get Duracube regular at an unbelievably low price of $5.99 a bag. It's a 40-pound bag. Duracube Red Out for $6.99 a bag, and potassium chloride for $19.99 a bag, plus 5 gallons of bottled water, only $2.99 each. It's a good price. Anyways, you might want to check them out if you have a water softener. I've had some people call me regarding Beauchamps recently, and one of my friends got a whole house water system, filtration system. He called me up. He's like, dude, it's so much better. You know, I have a friend, all they do is buy cases and cases and cases of bottled water. If you think about it, it's a waste of money. Get clean water coming out of your tap, which it should be anyways, but take it the extra mile. Go with Beauchamps. I'm telling you, such a difference. Way affordable, by the way. Even if you don't have well water, city water, you put their system on it, man, easily. So let me just talk about this. It's not what you spend, it's what you get. Think about that in home improvement. One of the most important aspects to planning a home renovation is proper budgeting. It's the number one thing that homeowners aren't honest about with their contractors. Yeah, you heard me, homeowners. Be honest with the contractor. But here's the honesty I'm talking about. When the contractor says, have you put a budget together for this kitchen? Have you put a budget together for this bathroom or roof or basement remodel? You know the contractor knows that you're Good morning, this is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done radio network. That's right. Always a good thing. We were talking about questions you got to ask every contractor. And, listen, people spend more time planning a weekend Disney vacation than they do a home improvement project. I don't get it. It baffles me. Be careful on the roads. Livonia here again. 696 isn't great. Driving into work is a chore. Yeah, be careful. It's snowing out. Yeah. Be safe out there, friends. And for those who are tuning in, thanks for tuning in. But anyways, listen, hiring a contractor is not easy. People spend more money and more time planning a Disney vacation than they do their bathroom, their roof, kitchen, whatever it is. Recently, I was speaking with Greg Tittle Brothers, Hire It Done contractor, one of the new Hire It Done All-Star Award winners. He was telling me, he's like, yeah, we go into the house, we go on the roof, we check everything out, we do our 10-point inspection, people ask questions, and they make a decision on a $10,000, $15,000 roof in an hour and a half. So it's important that homeowners are equipped. It's important that contractors are equipped because they're there to sell you something. They're there to fix a problem, solve a problem. It's not easy. Nothing's easy. So, yeah, you got to provide references. When they give you references, you better call them. One of the things we do at Hire It Done is when we get a contractor who applies to be part of Hire It Done, we check their references for you. We actually call them. So we know. So when you get a contractor through Hire It Done, you've already got the security and safety and peace and knowledge that we've checked references. So you have to do is spend your time getting the best price. And that's what it's about. Shout out to Josh Friedman, good friend of mine, ready for lunch on the 19th soon. Tell Max I said hello. Anyways, Greg Tittle, I got a birthday party tonight. Greg Tittle, birthday. Anyways, how about permits? This is a big one, pulling permits. Why do people want to do construction work without a permit? Why do contractors say, I don't pull permits unless you require it? We have laws in the state of Michigan. We have laws in the country that permits need to get pulled. Failing to pull permits that are required can cost you big time. Have your contractor pull the necessary paperwork and permits to get the job started. If your contractor is hesitant, find out why and perhaps find a new pro. Now, if you're that homeowner that says, I don't pull permits, I don't want my taxes going up, let me just say this. The chances of your taxes going up because you improved your house are not a guarantee. It's almost chances they won't. But when the guy pulls the permit and you're doing a kitchen, remember, the fact that you do, you could have two houses next to each other. One kitchen has Marilat cabinets. The other kitchen has Penville, which are custom made. And those two cabinets, same layout, same everything. One cabinet's $50,000, the other one's $20,000. Do you think you both pull permits? the $50,000 kitchen, it's the same amount of cabinets, same everything, in the $20,000. Do you think that your house should be taxed higher because you got a more expensive cabinet? You didn't add square footage. It's like someone with gold faucets. Just because you can afford gold doesn't mean you should be charged more taxes. My opinion. But really, please, pull permits. It's the law. Here's the other thing. If you're a contractor and you don't pull permits, guess what? You get in a beef with the homeowner, they can say that you didn't pull permits. That's another reason they can sue you, fight you, go against you. Oh, you didn't pull permits. And even if you say, oh, well, you told me not to pull permits. Not easy. Listen, not easy. Just follow the law. What's the worst that happens? Yes, when you get inspections, it slows the job down a tad. If it's properly managed, not really. Now, here's a next level question for you, the homeowner, to be asking the contractor. Who will be managing the project? That's a big one. Who will be managing the project? If your contractor isn't in charge of your job, insist on meeting the project manager to ensure he or she measures up to your standards. And that's important because you're buying the company, you're buying the renovation from a project, from a contractor who you like the guy sitting in front of you. Now he hands it off to Billy Bob, and Billy Bob smokes, shows up when you're not there, doesn't communicate, doesn't call back. And that's a big one, right? So you got to make sure that you know that you like Billy Bob. Permits is watching out for your safety too. Yes. Contractors hire an inspector. Inspector comes out and sees a fire hazard, sees something wrong. Yeah, you're supposed to build to a code. And that's a big one. Minimum code. Our guys meet or exceed code, right? Now, here's another question that's important. What is the project timeline and daily work schedule? Construction scheduling is never, okay, folks, never, keyword never, let me say it again, never perfect. The job never goes the way it's supposed to. It's always a day, couple days, weeks, months, depends. Workers get sick, orders get delayed, weather causes interruptions. An organized contractor will provide you with a work schedule that clearly outlines a start and an end date. Now, what happens when you have a change order? A change order interrupts the rhythm of the work, which then causes delays. You need to know that. But a contractor that works with you and communicates with you on a daily basis is the guy that you want, because if you're a few days over, you're going to understand because he's going to explain it to you. The key is communication. Now, how about garage code, keys, bathroom facilities? Those are big time things. Are you going to let Billy Bob drop a deuce in your house? Think about that, friends. Or are you going to have the contractor put a porta-john outside? It's snowing out right now. Sorry, sir, you got to go outside. It's a little cold, but it'll heat up. I don't know. That's a problem. You gotta mentally know that, but you got to make sure that your master bath doesn't get touched, right? Keep the toilet to yourself. Trust me, I know toilets. Joining me next, Jim Seghi, Seghi Renovations. You ever have a question, folks? Email me, adam@hireitdone.com. Text me 97136. I love to help you out. Kitchen and bath tips, trends, everything coming up next. I'm Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. Home remodeling, renovation, the whole category. It's lumped into different topics, right? And I understand why. But even we do it here on the show sometimes. It makes it easier to talk about when everything's under one big umbrella. However, I'm here to tell you there's a difference between home improvement and home remodeling. They're different beasts. Think about that for a second. you shouldn't try to think about these as different types of projects in the same way. And in fact, you can't think about them in the same way if you want to be successful. But what do I mean when I say home remodeling or home improvement? And so that's something that you need to discuss and figure out. Last week, I've always talked about different types of projects and how I'm going to be breaking it down even further, right? Odd jobs. We talk about the honey-do list, leaky faucets, creaky doors. These are the little do-it-yourself jobs that homeowners try and do and fix on their own, right? Those are what we call home improvement. A home improvement is fixing a screen, putting a screen door on. A home improvement is actually all the way up to installing windows. But then there's also bigger fixes that most homeowners don't tackle on their own, right? What are those? Anything to do with exterior of your house typically falls into the category of home improvement. Siding, roofing, gutters, windows. Any mechanical repairs to the home, fixing a furnace, repairing an electrical box. While some of these projects can be expensive, the key is that these jobs are typically handled by a single trade. That's the key. You don't have to have too much of a choice. If you need a new furnace, you're probably getting a new furnace whether you wanted to get one or not. These are also home improvement projects. When it comes to maintenance and repair, that's really what home improvement is, improving your home. So when you get to renovation and remodeling, you're typically talking about interior of the home. Things like kitchen remodeling, bathroom remodeling, finished basements, right? These are all renovation projects. You might be saying, well, what's the difference? The difference is that renovation projects all involve multiple trades: demolition, framing, insulation, drywall, electrical, plumbing, paint, flooring. That's the difference, right? Think about it. Remodeling a bathroom is almost like building a whole house. You got almost every trade going in there. Most home improvement projects, under the keyword home improvement, are finished in a day or two. Think about that. But renovation might be weeks before demolition and inspection. It could be months. Kitchens take 4, 5, 6 months. Basements could take 4 months. Yeah, 3-piece bath. Does it take longer or less? Just trust the plan. When you make a plan with your contractor, trust the plan. There's always 17 items that you can always have in a plan. Remember that. I trust the plan. The plan with your contractor is important. Remember, future proves past. So if you're a guy like me, in the future, you're going to say, oh my God, Adam was right. That's the future proves past situation. And good morning. This is Hired Dumb. My name's Adam Helfman. It's snowing out. I love the snow. Today's like a Netflix and chill kind of day. Maybe some fried chicken. I love fried chicken. Anyways, we got Jim Seghi from Seghi Renovations in studio. Good morning, Jim.
Morning, Adam.
Oh, can't hear it. Your mic's not on.
Oh,
there you got to talk into it. Now it is. I couldn't see.
Oh, that's right. Good morning, Adam.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's always a pleasure. You know that.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to have you here. So we were at the break. We were talking about the recent segment. You were talking about the questions to ask. Do you like a customer when they ask you questions when you're, they're thinking about remodeling their kitchen or bath, you're there, but then they start interviewing you about you. Don't you?
Oh, no, I love that, actually, and I'm all about questions. Actually, when I meet a client and I start talking about stuff, I actually stop myself and I say, look, I'm going to ask you tons of questions. I can guarantee you I'm not trying to oversell you anything. I just want to make sure that anything you do, you're able to give me an intelligent decision off of information that is facts. And there should never be a project when you get all done that you do the woulda, shoulda, coulda. Why didn't I do this? So, I walk the line of actually telling people information, but not assuring them I'm not trying to sell you, oversell you.
Sure.
I'm trying to make sure you get what you want.
Interesting that you say it that way. So, homeowner calls you. They say, "Oh, we were at a party last week. XYZ homeowner. They said that you did their kitchen. They're bragging about you.
Yep.
We're thinking about getting a new kitchen. Can we come see you? And we want to talk about a kitchen." So now this homeowner has already seen your work.
Yep.
So it's a high priority, high value client so far. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So what's the first step? Is it they come to your showroom or you go to their house? What do you recommend?
No, so first step is, so we'll just use kitchen for an example. I go out to their home. I take measurements. I take pictures. I ask a ton of questions. I spend anywhere between at least a good hour, sometimes two. After I do my measurements and pictures, we sit down and have conversations. So again, since we're talking about kitchen, I want to get a concept of maybe what style of cabinets they get. What color frames that they're trying to look for. We talk about lighting. We talk about styles, different things like that. So then I normally require 1 week turnaround time. I go back to my office. I have an awesome design staff, and we actually design by committee. So, and we actually have fun. You see some of these TV programs where everybody's sitting there bouncing ideas off of this one and that one and getting excited and raising their hand and, oh, I got this. And actually yesterday, Kristen we were showing a client a drawing, and I was waiting. I was like, I had this awesome idea and I couldn't wait for the client to leave because I wanted to change the whole layout. And I thought it would have been just drop dead gorgeous doing it just a tad different. But, so then we invite them into the showroom, show them kind of what we got, talk about some preliminary budget numbers. And once they're happy with that, then we get a retainer fee, which goes towards their project. And then we go through all the final material selections, all the colors. We're a complete home interior design as well as kitchen and bath designer. So we're actually the entire package. A lot of times, especially architects and whatnot, they will put a kitchen in a thing, but it won't have any type of details in it.
Right. So you have to finalize.
We hit all the details, and we have fun doing it.
No, that's the key word, fun. So homeowners and you, obviously, you're okay with them interviewing you. So the questions I gave the homeowners to ask, you don't have a problem with that?
Not at all. The more the better. And I'll tell you what, if I go there and I'm mainly talking to maybe the wife and stuff, I will actually say, hey, I'd really love to meet your husband before we get started. That way, all these great things that you've been saying about me, he actually knows are true. And I get the opportunity to shake his hand and look him in the eyes and say, hey, you're in good hands.
Well, that's always a good thing. So what about references? Let's say you finished a kitchen, the homeowner's happy.
Yep.
Homeowners typically don't want to be bothered by other people calling them. It's hard enough to get someone to answer the phone.
Right.
They don't typically want to be bothered by, hi, Mrs. Homeowner, Jim Seghi gave me your home phone, gave me your cell phone. He said that he did your kitchen and you were happy. Can I ask you a few questions about that? I mean, homeowners don't want that. I'm in the middle of making dinners. Can you call back? So is there a process that you use?
Yeah, actually, two things. All kidding aside, I actually have some homeowners that say they're so proud of their projects. They say, Jim, whenever you need a reference, you just give them my number, and I'm more than happy to do that. However, I always give the client the courtesy. I will either call them or send them a text and say, hey, I gave somebody your name and whatnot.
Yeah, because I like to call it permission-based references.
Yes.
I don't want to bother. I respect the privacy of my homeowners. I don't want to bother them, even though they're my fans and they want to brag, right?
Right.
So clearly, what I used to do is give the homeowners the letters. I'd ask the homeowner, can you write me a short letter, short note, defining your experience with my company and if you recommend me or not? That's it. For the most part, they'd be, yeah, of course. Or we'd send out a questionnaire.
Right.
I would then give that to the homeowner, and I'd say, here's 30, 40, 50 homeowners that I'd like my work. Pick a handful of those if you want to call them. Because what I'm going to do, Mrs. Homeowner, is just like when you're done with my job, Mrs. Homeowner, I'm going to make you so happy you're going to brag about me. But I'm not going to give your number to anyone. People are like, oh, yeah. So before I give these numbers out to you, I want to call and ask them permission so that they know you're calling. But
Right.
if I if I call them, I expect you to call them. So then the homeowner's like, oh, you know what? He gave me the names. It's enough. Because a lot of homeowners don't even call references. Did you know that?
Yeah, I believe. Because so who's going to give a bad reference? I mean, let's be real.
That's the whole point. That's why the review sites, Angie's List, HomeAdvisor, and reviews, Google reviews, that's why people do check those.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with those, and there's nothing against those, is that some of them, people are suspicious. By nature, people are suspicious. But they look at these reviews and they're like, how could this guy have 4,000 all 5-star reviews? You know what I'm saying? They're suspicious. Now, should the guy have bad reviews? No. However, you can't be perfect.
No.
So I want to know if there was a problem. I want to know how he solved it. We talk about that all the time.
So I've never had a bad review that was a problem that wasn't solved. I've had a few reviews that weren't favorable, and basically they were actually from people that we hadn't even done a project for them.
Is that the best?
So it's like they're sitting there saying, well, I didn't like this. So we had they didn't like something, and
Let me ask you a
everybody
question.
doesn't mesh with everybody, no matter what. I mesh with most anybody. I think I'm pretty good at getting along with almost anybody. But you know what? Every once in a while, you'll just hit somebody that we're just not a good fit.
Happened.
And it's best. It's what? So that bad review, that's best that we never worked together.
Thank you. Right? You should thank that homeowner.
Yeah.
Dear Mrs. Homeowner, thanks for putting this review up here because we have no record of your name, number, and issue except the fact that we went out and gave you a quote and you never called us back, but you're claiming that we're a bad company.
Right.
So let me ask you this. Would you participate? You know how there's websites about how you can, there are always reviews against the contractor.
Right.
Would you participate in a website that had a review for homeowners?
Oh, most certainly.
Right? I talked to every contractor. You see how you quickly answered? Every contractor I asked, hey, if there was a review site for contractors to review homeowners, would you participate? Not one contractor said, no way. Every one of them said, almost certainly, just like you said.
Right.
It's like a level of the playing field. Because I call homeowners keyboard gangsters. Now, majority of those reviews are legit. Let's call it what it is.
Yes.
However,
100%. We're talking of 10%.
Yeah, but the 10% can spoil the,
Of course.
spoil the bunch. The key I want to make is how can homeowners, or how can contractors and homeowners understand that the jobs don't go perfect.
No.
The key is to find the solution-minded contractor, the one that solves the problem. Jim, don't you find that to be the case sometimes?
I find that, I was just talking to Keith before we got in here, and, people hire me to take care of the problems. That is my job. They should never be stressed. They should actually look at me and smile and say, I'm glad that's your problem, not mine. So why they stress about it? Because I am so solution-minded. Never, ever have I ever had a problem that there wasn't a solution to, ever.
Well, there you go. That's what's so great about your company. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk about trends in kitchens. How long should it take? And, what if there is a dispute, how do we resolve it? We're going to take care of that when we come back. I'm Adam Helfman. We got Jim Seghi, Seghi Renovations. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. So, the home show was last weekend. And I got a chance to go out there, and there's some really good contractors there. And I always go out there because I'm always looking for new contractors. I'm always looking for contractors worthy of Hire It Done. And when I say worthy, that meet the pre-screening. A lot of people think, oh, what do you just take any contractor that pays you? No, we don't. I turn down more contractors than pay me, believe it or not. I know people are like, that's impossible. I'm like, no. When we do, listen, you got to understand something. When I send someone to your house, right, you go to hireitdone.com and the contractor comes to your house and you got them from me. You get the contractor from me. You need to have a level of trust, right? Because homeowners trust me that I'm not going to send some axe murderer to their house. So we do background checks. Can you imagine a contractor who's a roofer? Let's just use that as an example. And he had a breaking and entering in his past, and then I'm putting him in Hired Done and then sending him to your house? Are you kidding me? Can you imagine the news headlines? Can you imagine people saying, oh, I had him send an axe murderer to my house? I'm like, not doing it, dude. Not doing it. Anyways, my point is what I do for you, I find the contractors that pass that. And then, of course, I look at their business practices and I look at the quality of the work and I look at their references and I call them. That's our pre-screening. When they pass that, then they get the invitation to participate in Hire It Done. Hire It Done, we don't charge per lead. We're not Angie's List. We're not Home Advisor. We're a subscription model. They have to pay. They come on radio. They come get part of the leads. We do blogging content. We do all that for contractors. That's why it's hard finding really good contractors. And sometimes I get more leads and more requests from homeowners than I have contractors, so they get upset. I can't please everyone, but I've learned over the years. But I love talking about home improvement. I love talking to contractors, and I love talking to homeowners and helping them get hassle-free home improvement. And that's what Hire It Done's all about. Good morning. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. We've got Jim Seghi in studio. Jim, Seghi Renovations, primarily kitchens and baths, but you'll do additions, lower levels, basements, anything, right?
That's correct.
Is there a difference in cabinets between manufacturers? Does it make a difference? Like, I know a lot of kitchen and bath guys.
Yes.
And this guy carries this brand, you carry your brand. What's the real deal on cabinets? Does it make a difference, yes or no?
Not at all. Well, what does make a difference is, so I'll take that a little bit more in depth. I actually had a meeting yesterday with one of my reps, and what we did was we reviewed the lines of cabinetry that we had to make sure that we had the best cabinetry in every price point, because I have probably 5 different price points. I won't have anything in my showroom that is not of a quality product that's just going to fall apart. I have certain standards. Everything is going to have a dovetail drawer. Everything's going to have a better drawer slide on it.
Yeah.
Everything's going to have the soft close. So from there, with those standards, then we pick. Okay,
that's your base.
I'm sorry, what?
That's your base.
Yes,
and then you go up from there.
Yeah, but so the biggest difference in all the cabinet manufacturers basically is the amount of choices you have. So some cabinet lines, you have a choice of maybe 8 doors, and that's all you get. Then you get up into our medium price cabinet lines, and then you pick out your wood, your colors, your species.
Now, what about like matched woods and plywood sides and the box?
Yeah. So for us, standard everything that is an exposed side is a plywood side. That way the wood ages. If customers request plywood sides on everything, I'm more than happy to do that.
You don't agree though in the middle of a cabinet
I don't
run.
think in the middle of a cabinet
MDF
because
is fine.
it's a furniture board. It's a great product that you use. Some people are more comfortable with it. So again, from my standpoint, you know what? And it's kind of funny because you'll hear me sometimes. Client will ask me a question, and I'll say, "I don't think you need it. It's just more money for me." Meaning, why would you want to spend money? All you're doing is giving me money that you really don't have to.
I agree with that. I'm a kind of guy who thinks that your plates and your cups and your pots and pans don't care what they're sitting in or on.
Right.
That it's more important to me that you pick a really nice door with hardware as opposed to juicing up and making the box all fancy.
Correct.
The drawers obviously should have dovetails. I agree. They should be self-closing. Those two are a minimum.
Yeah, because that gives you our projects. We try to focus on a 20-year process where I tell people 20 years from now, you should be able to go in, clean that up, and it should look brand new. I'm not talking 20 years it starts falling apart. I'm talking 20 years it still should look brand new. And if all the elements of design have been hit, even if some of the things have gone out of style a little bit,
sure, it's
still going to look gorgeous because you've hit every element of the design, so everything looks extremely cohesive and it still looks great.
Okay, and that's important. So what happens, and again, we're talking cabinet manufacturers from one to the other.
Yes.
Your manufacturers aren't like stock cabinets. You have to order them.
Some are stock, some are not. So
okay, but majority order, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you order the cabinets, and this happens to me in the past. Homeowners patiently waiting. So let's say it's 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks to get the cabinets. You've started the job. It's all roughed in. Things are going smooth. Cabinets arrive, and a couple of cabinets are wrong. And, of course, the ones that are wrong are the ones in the middle of the line of the room, and it ruins the whole thing.
Right.
You got to be the guy to come out there and say, Mrs. Jones, we got a problem. Solve it. We got cabinets we got to wait for now. What happens next?
From my stand, in general, since we are a solution-minded company,
right,
I figure out a way to make it work where even though there's a cabinet, even if it's in the middle of the line, you're still able to go ahead and measure for your granite, measure for everything, and
so keep momentum.
Try to make it as short of a delay as humanly possible. And also with most of our cabinet manufacturers, if there is something that's wrong or something that's damaged, it also gets put on what's called a fast track. So
your relationship with your cabinet supplier is important.
Of course.
Okay.
If any supplier I have, if they don't stand behind their products, I don't use them. Period.
What about damaged products?
Same thing. You know, it gets put on the fast track.
Got it.
Occasionally, so a lot of times if it is a damage, it's a door. So you're really not holding anything up. If the box by chance got maybe twisted, I will show the client. I'll say, look, this is what it is. I can fix it. I can probably make it better than what it was.
Correct.
This is what I'm going to do for the repair. You have the choice. Have me fix it or wait for a new cabinet.
Okay. Well, that's a tough one because I think you would fix it better than new. But homeowners I bought brand new cabinets. I didn't want a repaired cabinet. What is this? My brand new car?
That's why I give them the choice.
Yeah, you're smart.
Because it's so their choice is, look, it's going to be 2 weeks to get a cabinet, or this is how I'm going to fix it. And it would never in a million years be anything that would hinder the strength, the longevity, or the looks. If it was something that was on the front of the cabinet that could not be fixed, I'm not going to insult somebody and say, hey, let me just putty this up and we'll call it good. That's just not good business.
Is there a brand of cabinet out there that you think is really good?
Well, we use the Homecrest line. We use the Dynasty line. Those are two well-made.
What's your super high end? Is there a high end like a Cadillac or
Omega?
Omega. Have you heard of wood mode?
Yes.
Is that considered high?
Yeah, wood mode is in
Brocade.
the Dynasty.
It's up there.
Dynasty, and then Omega Dynasty is basically the same company, but Omega is their higher end. Omega is basically a cabinet line that I can draw something and send it into them, and they'll make it.
Oh, okay.
I
So
tell
they're
people,
like
if you're
super
gonna,
custom.
I can make whatever you want if you can afford to pay for it.
I like that. I didn't know that.
And the nice thing with that is since Dynasty and Omega are sister companies,
Yeah.
I can order one Omega cabinet, custom, and then just order everything else in the lesser expensive line. And you'd never know the difference.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, right?
No.
We're talking to Jim Seghi from Seghi Renovations. You're out of South Lyon, but you service all of Metro Detroit.
Yes.
Average kitchen, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 or higher.
So again, we're talking averages. If people ask me right off the cuff, I use the $30,000 to $50,000 range.
Okay. What about a bathroom?
Bathroom, depending on whether it's a master or not, but
just a regular three-piece.
Regular bathroom, say anywhere from probably 15 to 20. If you're in masters, you're normally in the 30s.
Okay. No,
25s.
Yeah, master bath's got to be 30 on up. I got you. Makes sense. Is there any trends cabinets for kitchens right now, color-wise? The white shaker, everyone, white shaker. Then it started making toward gray. What do you think?
The shakers are good, are relatively popular. Something a little bit more on the simplistic line. Sometimes people like the shakers, and there's just a little bit of detail. And your grays are very popular, but it doesn't always have to be a gray.
How about mixing colors?
Yeah, we do that quite a bit.
I heard vanilla.
Traffic is getting worse. You will now arrive at 9:47 a.m.
How about that? That's our Google, Siri, someone in there?
Yeah.
That's a nice one. Anyways, so I heard like a vanilla grayish with a little bit of it's trending towards vanilla-ish. Is that true?
Yeah, but your wood tones are always probably your most popular.
Still.
No matter what is trending, but they do have some of the wood tones that have the brownish, that have the little hint of gray.
Sure.
We actually have two colors that are just really nice, and they just have that little gray hint, but yet it's still in the wood family. So it's a stain. It's a stain rather than a paint.
Any tips for homeowners that are listening right now, if they're planning a kitchen, what they should do? Obviously, besides call you.
Besides call me.
Right.
I guess the biggest tip I can get them is when you're working with a contractor, you've hired them to take all the stress. Your project should be stress-free. The less that you involve yourself in trying to handle the stress, the better off everybody is.
How about getting everything in writing?
Oh, perfect.
You have to, right? What about getting everything not included? You ever have a homeowner say to you, hey, I heard on Adam's show, he says put everything in writing and then put everything not included in writing. Is that important to you?
Oh, very. You know what? If I'm doing a project, especially if we don't do too much where there's owner participation, and sometimes it's just specific things that should be part of that project that they've requested not to have, I always put it in there.
What about painting? Do you paint your projects?
Of course.
What if they say they want to paint it themselves? You allow them to?
That's one thing that I'm fine with.
Okay.
What I don't like is anything that it would happen in the middle of the project.
Give your
if
phone
it's
number
something
out,
before we get there, I'm good with it. After, I'm good with it.
Got it.
248-437-2454.
Seghi.net is the website. SEGHI.net. Jim Seghi, Seghi Renovations. If you want a real good kitchen, that's all you got to do.
That's
Seghi
right.
Renovations. Thanks for coming in, my friend.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
It's good seeing you.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Another great week at Hire It Done. You need a contractor, custom kitchen like Jim Seghi. You want a roof that doesn't leak. Anything. I'm here to help you. I'm every homeowner's best friend. Thanks for tuning in.